leading the way with breaking news.
Shots fired on a Kentucky highway over the weekend, and police, the FBI, ATF, all still looking for that suspect 72 hours later. Thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Cherie Palillo.
And I'm Ashley Kirkland. They are looking for Joseph Couch, who they say shot at least 5 people on 75 over the weekend. Crews are searching around the Daniel Boone Forest that's south of Lexington. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick is live. And Brian, we just got an update from police. What they have to say.
Yeah, we just got a couple of minutes ago, 72 hours into what they term as an intense manhunt. Troopers are all over this area looking for this suspect, but so far Joseph Couch has eluded capture. But there were some new details to emerge today. Troopers are in the woods searching thousands of acres of rugged terrain. While they're doing that, other investigators are searching for evidence and other indicators that would lead to where he might be. Today, investigators say they have searched the suspect's home. He doesn't live too far from here, just south of the area, but they did not say what they found. Now, we asked if he had provisions to stay in the woods. The sheriff hesitated before he answered that, but basically said that was part of the investigation. At this point, they do not believe he has left the wooded area near where the shooting scene was. It left about a dozen cars hit and at least 5 people injured.
By now, we should have got a pretty good tip that he has exited the woods. We have not got that. So our main focus is to remain in those woods until we find him. And some people say, well, what if he's not alive anymore? Well, we're going to stay in the woods till we find him. And, you know, that's our job. If he's dead or alive, it's our job to try to find him. And that's what we're going to do.
Now, investigators also said today that they have more technology added to this, more drones, and in fact, 7 more helicopters, and some of those are equipped with FLIR, or that body signature heat-seeking device that allows them to basically at night see the body heat of a person or an animal in the woods. So they're using that as well. Generally at night, they've been taking the personnel out of the woods and bringing in these helicopters to search where they might find that body heat signature. Reporting live, Brian Hamrick, WLWT News 5.
Now, Brian, did investigators say anything about the text that Couch sent saying that he had planned to kill people and then kill himself?
Yeah, I specifically asked about that text today, Ashley. Investigators were tight-lipped about that. They said they are aware of the text, but they didn't give any indication as to whether they think that meant anything, whether his indication that he would kill himself is something he would actually do, or if that was a ruse somehow that he might get away. So far, investigators are just continuing to search the area where they think he is. Ashley?
Brian Hamrick reporting live for us. Thanks so much, Brian.
All right, I want to get to some breaking news happening.